After 18 years of service, Sister Maria simply vanished from St. Anna's convent. No one knew where she went. No one asked why she abandoned her vows. But when they found her body 3 months later in an abandoned building, police discovered evidence that changed everything. The woman everyone thought was a saint had actually been living a double life for years, and what they found at the convent exceeded all imagination. Sister Maria, whose real name was Elena Rodriguez, entered St. Anna's convent at 22 years old. According to her family, she had always wanted to be religious. From childhood, she attended church, participated in every Mass, and as a teenager already spoke of dedicating her life to God. At the convent, she quickly made a name for herself. Other nuns told stories of how she never complained, always helped others, and prayed with such devotion that it moved everyone present. She was especially good with the sick. She cared for them with such patience and love that many thanked her for their recovery. But there was a part of Elena Rodriguez's life that no one knew about. 10 years before entering the convent, when Elena was 12 years old, she witnessed something that changed her forever. Her mother, Carmen Rodriguez, simply disappeared from their home one night. Her father, Miguel, told the authorities that Carmen had left with another man. But Elena knew the truth. On the night her mother disappeared, Elena wasn't sleeping. She heard the argument between her parents. She heard her mother's screaming, and she saw her father carrying a large plastic bag out of the house. Carmen Rodriguez's body was never found. Elena never spoke about what she saw. To no one, not even during confession. Instead, she decided to dedicate her life to God. Perhaps this way she could find forgiveness for the guilt she felt about her mother's death. Or perhaps because she knew she was capable of the same thing her father had done. At the convent, Elena, who had now become Sister Maria, lived a perfect life. She woke at 5 in the morning, prayed, worked in the garden, cared for the sick, and went to bed at 9 in the evening. For 18 years, every day was the same. But meanwhile, she was writing letters. Police later found these letters in Elena's room. More than 200 letters that she never sent. All addressed to the same person, Miguel Rodriguez, her father. In these letters, Elena described what she would do to her father if they ever met again. She described in detail how she would kill him, how she would bury him, and how she would continue living as if nothing had happened. The letters became increasingly detailed over time. Elena also made drawings, maps, plans. Sister Maria was a saint during the day, but at night, when everyone was asleep, she left her cell. She snuck out of the convent and went to the city. She didn't go to have fun. She didn't meet with men. Elena Rodriguez was looking for something very specific: men who resembled her father. In the city, there was a bar where construction workers went to drink after work. Elena went there and watched them for hours. She noted how they talked, how they moved, how they behaved. She especially watched men who behaved aggressively toward their wives or girlfriends. Sometimes she followed them home. She found out where they lived, when they went to work, when they were alone. She wrote everything down in a small notebook that she hid among the books at the convent. If you don't want to miss stories like this, subscribe to the channel. We bring new shocking cases every week. Elena never harmed anyone, but she was preparing to. Police later found a box in Elena's room filled with tools, rope, cleaning supplies, knives, plastic bags, everything needed for a perfect murder. And there was something else. A list. 12 names were on it. All men Elena had followed for years. Next to them were exact addresses, work schedules, and detailed plans on how to approach them. Elena Rodriguez left the convent after 18 years on a September night. She didn't say goodbye to anyone. She didn't take her personal belongings. She just left. The next morning, the other nuns noticed that Elena didn't show up for morning prayer. They checked her cell. Empty. Her bed hadn't been used, as if Elena had never existed. The convent leadership didn't call the police. They thought Elena was just taking a break from religious life. This sometimes happens with young nuns. They waited a week, then 2 weeks, then a month. Meanwhile, Elena Rodriguez returned to the city where she was born. Miguel Rodriguez still lived there, in the same house where Elena spent her childhood. Now 68 years old, living alone with health problems. He never remarried after Carmen's disappearance. He never spoke about that night. Elena watched her father for 3 days. She learned his daily routine, figured out when he was alone, when he was most vulnerable. Everything was going according to plan. Elena Rodriguez knocked on her father's door on October 6th. Miguel didn't recognize her at first. Elena had been 12 years old 28 years ago when he last saw her. Now she was 40, bald, thinner, wearing completely different clothes. But then Elena spoke, and Miguel knew who was standing in front of him. "Hi, Papa," Elena said. "It's time we talked about Mom." Miguel let her in, not because he wanted to, but because he knew he had no choice. He had been waiting for this moment for 18 years. He knew Elena would return someday. Elena entered the house and did the first thing she had been preparing for 18 years. She locked the door and took out the rope she had hidden at the convent from her bag. Miguel Rodriguez didn't resist when Elena tied him up. He didn't scream, didn't ask for help. He just sat in the kitchen chair and waited to see what would happen. Elena didn't rush. She had been preparing for this moment for 18 years. She wanted to experience every detail. First, she asked Miguel where he had buried Carmen. Miguel remained silent. Elena repeated the question, this time holding a knife to Miguel's throat. Miguel still remained silent. Elena began to speak. She told Miguel that she had seen that night. She had heard Carmen screaming. She had seen Miguel carry out the bag. She told him she had dreamed for 18 years of avenging her mother. Miguel finally spoke. He told Elena that Carmen didn't die that night. He said Carmen left because she was having an affair with another man, and Miguel had just helped her pack her things in that plastic bag. Elena didn't believe him. Elena Rodriguez tortured her father for an hour. Not physically. Elena wasn't violent, rather psychologically. She told Miguel in detail what she was going to do to him, how she would kill him, how she would bury him in the same place where Carmen was buried. Miguel continued to insist that Carmen didn't die. He told Elena that if she wanted, he could give her Carmen's phone number so Elena could speak with her herself. Elena thought Miguel was lying, but then Miguel told her details about Carmen's life that only a living person could know. He talked about how Carmen got a new job in another city, that she had a new name, that she had 2 children. Elena began to doubt. Miguel told Elena to write a letter to Carmen. He gave her the address. Elena could write and see if Carmen would respond. Elena didn't know what to do. For 18 years, she thought her mother was dead. Now her father was saying Carmen was alive. Elena stayed at Miguel's house for 2 days. She didn't tie him up again. Miguel was too old and sick to escape or ask for help. They simply sat there and talked. Miguel told Elena that he had always known what she saw that night. He said he hadn't talked to her about it because he was afraid Elena wouldn't understand the truth. Carmen had indeed left with another man, but not because she didn't love Elena, because Miguel was an alcoholic, and Carmen was afraid of him. Elena realized that for 18 years she had drawn the wrong conclusions. Her father was never a murderer. Her mother never died. Elena had wasted an entire life on a desire for revenge that was never justified. On October 8th, Elena left Miguel's house. She told her father she was going back to the convent and would try to fix her life. Miguel said he was proud of her, and that Carmen would be proud of her too. Elena walked to the bus stop. Along the way, she decided to write a letter to Carmen. She would try to restart the relationship with her mother. Maybe it wasn't too late. But Elena Rodriguez never reached the bus stop. Elena Rodriguez's body was found on October 11th in an abandoned building on the outskirts of town. Police determined that Elena had killed herself. She had drunk poisoned coffee. They found a letter next to Elena. In it, Elena explained what she had done over the past 18 years. She said she had been wrong about her mother, but she also said she couldn't bear the thought of being so wrong. Elena wrote that for 18 years she had hated her father for something he never did. For 18 years she had lived as a saint while being filled with murderous thoughts. For 18 years she had prayed to God, but was actually preparing for revenge. Elena wrote that she didn't know how she could live with this knowledge. Police also questioned Miguel Rodriguez. Miguel told them about Elena's visit, but didn't talk about the details. He only said that Elena had wanted to restart her life, but something had prevented her from doing so. Miguel gave police a phone number, Carmen Rodriguez's phone number. Carmen Rodriguez currently lives in San Diego at 47. She has 2 sons. One is a doctor, the other a teacher. Carmen remarried 17 years ago and lives a happy life. When police called to tell her about Elena's death, Carmen collapsed. She told them she had always known Elena was still alive, but hadn't dared to contact her. Carmen told police that when she left Miguel, she had planned to take Elena with her. But Elena was sleeping that night, and Carmen didn't want to wake her. She thought she would come back for her later when the situation calmed down. Carmen never went back. Carmen told police that she sent a birthday card to Elena every year, but Miguel never gave them to her. Carmen tried to contact Elena when she entered the convent, but the nuns said Elena didn't want outside contact. Carmen thought Elena was angry at her for leaving. She didn't know that Elena thought she was dead. The leadership of St. Anna's convent was deeply shocked when they learned of Elena's death. They were even more shocked when police told them what they had found in Elena's room. The Mother Superior told police they had never noticed Elena having problems. Elena had always been a perfect nun. She never complained, never caused trouble, always helped others. But when police showed the Mother Superior Elena's letters and drawings, she realized something had gone very wrong. Elena had lived a double life at the convent for 18 years, and no one had noticed. The convent decided to change its rules. From now on, every nun would have to speak with a psychologist at least once a month. The convent wanted to ensure that what happened to Elena could never happen again. But it was too late. Elena Rodriguez's case isn't just a personal tragedy. It highlights how easy it is to get lost in our own thoughts when we don't talk to anyone about what we're experiencing. Elena saw something when she was 12 that she misinterpreted. For 28 years, she built on this misinterpretation until it completely consumed her life. If Elena had talked to someone, anyone, about what she saw, everything probably would have turned out differently. But Elena thought she had to solve the problem alone. She thought God would help her find the right path. She thought if she was good enough, if she prayed enough, everything would work out. Elena Rodriguez's story shows that sometimes the most dangerous people are those who keep too much inside. Elena Rodriguez's death deeply affected everyone who knew her. At the convent, the other nuns tried to understand how it was possible that they had lived alongside Elena for 18 years, yet never noticed what thoughts she was struggling with. Miguel Rodriguez tried to rebuild his relationship with Carmen after Elena's death. They called each other and talked about what had happened. They both felt responsible for Elena's death. Carmen Rodriguez traveled to Elena's funeral. This was the first time in 18 years that she had returned to the city where Elena was born. Carmen and Miguel buried Elena together, in the same cemetery where Elena thought Carmen was also buried. Only 6 people attended the funeral: Miguel, Carmen, Carmen's 2 sons, the Mother Superior, and a nun from the convent. No one else knew about Elena's double life. No one else understood why she had died. As I mentioned, Elena Rodriguez never spoke to anyone about what she saw in her childhood. She carried this secret for 28 years, until it finally destroyed her completely. Elena's case is an example of how destructive family secrets can be. Elena didn't just harm herself by staying silent. She damaged her relationship with God, her relationship with the other nuns, and ultimately lost her life. But Elena's case also shows how important it is to talk about our traumas. If Elena had talked to someone, a psychologist, family member, friend, or even her confessor, about what she saw, everything probably would have turned out differently. Elena thought God would forgive her if she was good enough. She thought religion would solve her problems. But the truth is that God doesn't expect us to bear our burdens alone. Elena Rodriguez's case isn't just a story from 20 years ago. It's a story about what can still happen today to anyone who keeps too much inside. Today, in the internet age, it's even easier to isolate ourselves and get lost in our own thoughts. Elena wrote letters but never sent them. Today, people write blogs, post on social media, or chat in chat rooms, but still don't tell anyone what's really bothering them. Elena wanted to be the perfect nun to hide her dark thoughts. Today, people want to create perfect social media profiles for the same reason. Elena prepared for 18 years to take revenge on her father. Today, people can spend years preparing to change their liumos, but never take the first step. Elena Rodriguez's story highlights one of the modern world's biggest problems: the lack of mental health care. Elena lived for 18 years in an environment where they believed prayer and work would solve every problem. But Elena needed professional help. Elena Rodriguez's case will never be completely closed. Too many questions remain unanswered. Would Elena really have killed her father if it turned out Carmen was dead? Was Elena only planning for her own father, or also for other men she had written on her list? Did Elena really believe in God, or was she just using religion to hide her dark thoughts? And perhaps the most important question: could Elena Rodriguez have been saved if someone had recognized in time that she needed help? Police closed Elena's case. The convent changed its rules. Miguel and Carmen are trying to process what happened. But Elena Rodriguez's case remains there to remind us how dangerous it can be to keep too much inside. Sister Maria was perfect in everyone else's eyes for 18 years. But inside, she was slowly destroying herself. And when the truth finally came out, it was too late for anyone to help her. Perhaps Elena Rodriguez's case is the most frightening kind of horror story. The person we thought was a saint was actually living a completely different life. Elena Rodriguez's body was found. Her case was closed. But there's something the police never made public, something Elena wrote in her last letter, but the authorities decided would be too dangerous to release. In her last letter, Elena wrote that there was still something at the convent, something she had hidden, and that no one would ever find. Something that would prove Elena didn't just plan what she never did. St. Anna's convent still operates today. The nuns still live in the same building, in the same rooms. Elena's room was given to another nun, but Elena's final message is still there, somewhere, waiting for someone to find it.